All right, welcome into another college football Saturday. This is Otis, Jimmy, bringing you the college football action for Week 7. Before we move forward, just want to mention some of our sponsors. MyBookie AG, you can use that QR code in the upper corner here to make all your bets. NFL Shop, you can get all your NFL needs, hats, jerseys, sweatshirts. It's getting to be hoodie weather. And the MLB Shop, shout out to the Dodgers who beat the Phillies this week. Bad week for the Philadelphia area. Penn State loses. Philadelphia Eagles lose twice. And now the Philadelphia Phillies have been eliminated from the playoffs. Jimmy, let's get this thing started. Heading into this week, we're seeing a lot of turnover happen in the middle of that the rankings this week. And it's only going to get murkier as we get towards the college football playoffs. So the first game we got, 12 noon kickoff, number 1 Ohio State at Illinois. Illinois getting 17.5. What are you thinking?
Oh, wow. I didn't know it jumped up. Last time I looked, it was 14.5. I still think Ohio State covers that number just because I feel like this is a similar game to the Indiana game where, yes, Luke Altmaier is a good surgical quarterback who makes very little mistakes, but once you push that O-line, like that Ohio State defensive front is going to be in his face all day. Indiana was able to get a good push, and you saw what they did. They ran up the score on them. So I feel like a better defense is going to just do more things to them, and I feel like Ohio State's just going to run away with it. This is a statement game. Illinois is going to. They're not just quite there yet to be at the top level of the Big Ten. They're in that second tier, trying to make their way out, and I don't think they can escape the basement from Ohio State here. I think Ohio State just kind of wallops them.
Yeah, I love that this game is in Champaign. I love orange and blue teams. I like Syracuse. I like the Overbrook Rams who beat Camden Catholic this week. So we're now 5-2 on the season, just in case you were worried about New Jersey high school football. But I really love Ohio State's defense. They play physical. They play fast, which is a deadly combination, especially in college football. But in the Big Ten, most of these teams are not looking to be that explosive as on the defensive side of the football. And I feel like they're going to have a little bit of a test in the beginning, but sooner or later, the Buckeyes are just going to start dominating that Illini defense.
I feel you.
So the next game we got up is a big SEC matchup. It's a really matchup of prove-its here. Another 12 noon kickoff. Number 8 Alabama at number 14 Missouri. Missouri getting 3.5. What do you think, Jim?
See, I've been on this Missouri bus this whole time. I've been like pounding the Missouri bus. I'm like, they're gonna get in the playoff. Look at their schedule. But this Alabama team has woken back up to life recently here. Yes, Bo Prabula and Ahmad Hardy, Heisman candidates probably, but this Alabama team is good against the runs, and their offense is coming back to life. Ty Simpson's doing a good job. I like the over here, but if I'm picking a side, I got to pick Alabama just because I feel Kalen DeBoer is 13-2 against ranked opponents. So when it's a ranked on ranked matchup, he pays attention. But this Missouri team, 250 plus yards on the ground a game. Alabama's edge rushers are hurt, so I don't think they are playing. So we got to see how the edge is set here to see if Missouri's run game can go crazy on them. I lean more towards Alabama, but my favorite play in this game is the over, just because Missouri's defense hasn't really been tested. The only real data point we have on Missouri's defense is Kansas, and I can tell you Alabama's offense is a lot more potent than Kansas.
Yeah, Missouri's undefeated. They're looking to continue their winning ways at home against the Tide. Like you said, I like Caleb DeBoer's ideas on defense, and they, as you said, woken up against some tough competition. I don't see it any different this way. I also like the over, and I like Alabama by 10.
Mm.
All right, so another new SEC rivalry was an old Big 12 rivalry now. The Red River rivalry, Oklahoma at Texas. Texas getting 1.5. Favored by 1.5. Oklahoma has won 5 of the last 7. Brett Venables has prided himself on defense since he was playing under Bill Snyder and then becomes a GA there at Kansas State. And then obviously we know all of his work at Clemson. I feel like it's going to be a tight game here. Sooners are really good on defense. Arch Manning, one of the worst decision makers in college football. And I'm not saying that because that's just like pure facts. His decision making is one of the longest in college football. Jimmy, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about John Mateer's thumb, so I think they're going with the backup, Michael Hawkins. The miracle surgery of Dr. Shin, I don't think happened, but well, it did happen, but the recovery time is just too long. It's supposed to be a month of recovery. It's only been 17 days, so he'll be back, but it just won't be this game. I like the under on this play, like you said. I think these are two tough defenses. To be honest, I think uh, Texas's defense is getting kind of slept on just because they kind of got beat by Florida, and Florida was the first team to like kind of wallop them and pick them apart. But this Texas team, listen, Arch played okay last game. He had a couple interceptions, but it's the first game where he actually looked alert, and I feel like this game could go either way. Second string quarterback against a really stout defense, but Hawkins played in this game last year. If I'm picking a side, I think I don't know, man. You know, Boomer Sooner. I'm not gonna switch up. I was thinking about switching up to Texas, but no, I'm staying true. I'm gonna take Oklahoma.
Right. This is what we got here. All right. Here we go. Moving on to another SEC matchup. We got a lot of them this week because they're all impactful. Arkansas at Tennessee. Tennessee getting 12 or giving 12.5. Vols are coming off a bye and looking to get revenge. Arkansas just fired their coach. Sam Pittman is now the interim head coach. Josh Heupel, one of the best offensive minds. Can the Razorbacks bring the program back to good?
Listen, man, Bobby Petrino is gonna have some trick plays coming in. First year coach, or not first year coach, first game back, I should say. But I think this Tennessee offense against that Arkansas defense is just too much. I like Tennessee in this spot. I think they cover. I think that offense is just too good, man. Like, and Taylor Green is a good quarterback at Arkansas. He's done great with what he has, but Arkansas has just quit on themselves so many times. Like, and I feel like it happened in that Notre Dame game when y'all did that fake punt and you took all the breath out of them. That was the end of the road for them. That's all I'm saying. I feel like Arkansas did in the water. I'm going with the Vols.
Yeah, I like the Vols as well. I think that the turnover that's going to happen in Arkansas is really going to take its toll here. So I like the Vols minus 12.5. All right.
He already fired 3 coaches, man. Like, what are we doing?
I know, man. All right. So a big matchup here based on results and what this team should be doing. We don't know how this is going to play out. I think this is one of the toughest games to call this week. And that is 7 o'clock kickoff or 7:30 kickoff, Florida at Texas A&M. Texas A&M giving 7.5. It's another SEC matchup. As we said, Florida is on the verge of helping Napier keep his job now. And lots of are on the line here for both teams. A&M is playing extremely well. They are at home with the 12th man. I just don't know about Lagway and how he's going to be able to play perfect enough to make the difference here in the game.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm not buying in on the hype of Florida just yet. They're gonna have to prove it to me. This Texas A&M team, though they did start off slow against Mississippi State, they were able to turn it around in the second half and rattle off 30. Um, I like what they got going on. Marcel Reed, great, doing a good job at quarterback, really good dual threat. Le'Veon Moss, great running back. Concepcion and the other guys, really good receivers. They have a really talented team, and the defense is starting to shape up. Like you said last week, I wasn't a believer in the defense, and then last week showed up. I was like, dang, okay, they shut down Mississippi State, who doesn't have the greatest offense, but they have some weapons for sure. So I'm not buying into the Florida hype. I think everyone's gassing up Florida for just beating a mediocre Texas team. So I'm on the Aggies.
Yeah, I just don't see Lagway leading this team again in another tough game, and it's really hard to play at College Station.
Hmm.
And that Texas A&M team, like I said to you before, that defense is incredible. I don't know if they're up there with Ohio State or anything like that, but they're a solid, stout defense.
Hmm.
And I like the Aggies minus the 7.5.
Yeah.
All right, so finally getting out of the SEC, Kansas at Texas Tech. Texas Tech giving 13.5. Kansas coming off a win over UCF, Central Florida.
Hmm.
Texas Tech is undefeated, and no one's really talking about them in the top 10. I mean, I like everything that the Red Raiders are doing on offense, and that's always been the case, for years. Jimmy, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought this neck injury that Morton got was going to impact him more in that Houston game, but it clearly didn't. They ran off on him. This Texas Tech team is different. I think they're the clear-cut one in the Big 12. That defense is nasty, and Morton's playing good ball. The how this is going to go is if they can contain the edge against Jalen Daniels, because they don't do the greatest against mobile quarterbacks, but I think the just the pure firepower they have on defense is going to be enough to keep it well without or well over the line in the 13 and a half. I'm taking the Red Raiders just because this is the top of the class of the Big 12, and Kansas, his only real bullet point was Missouri, and they kept it close against them. But Missouri was able to run away with it in the second half, and I feel like if you can't play full 4 quarters against a hard team, you're not going to beat this Texas Tech team. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the Kansas defense is going to be just as tongue twisted as you are right now. But I feel
Triple
like
teams,
that
man.
offense. Yeah, man, it is what it is. I feel like there's just too much firepower for Texas Tech, for Kansas to even think about getting within 2 touchdowns. The next game is a 10 p.m. kickoff. One that kind of is really shaky for both sides. So Utah's at home. They're giving 5.5 to Arizona State. Arizona State's quarterback does have an injury. So we don't know exactly what his designation is going to be. And Utah has always played tough defense. It's a hallmark for Kyle Whittingham. So what do you think about the Utes and the Sun Devils?
Listen, man. This Arizona State team has proven me wrong several times. And I've also been wrong about this Utah team because I was on Utah in the Texas Tech game. But the difference between Utah during midday and Utah at night, I think, is a large one. Though the fans are rowdy regardless, I feel like this is just the night atmosphere is going to be too much. I like what Arizona State's done. The quarterback injury is a really big concern. Jordan Tyson, their main weapon, it's hard to get him the ball if your QB's out. But listen, I'm not giving up on Dampier. Their offensive line at Utah they have 2 NFL caliber tackles. Their offense is there, and I think this is a show it game for them, and just to keep their name in the conversation, because when Texas Tech beat them, everyone was out on Utah, and I feel like this is a remind you game. Notice.
Yeah, I like the Utes as well at night. I feel like they always have played well at night, as you said, but also I just don't trust the Arizona State offense. I just don't trust it yet. So just before we get to the spreads of the week, don't forget we do have sponsors, as I said before, MyBookie AG. All right. And we also have MLB Shop. All right. You can take a gander at the QR code up in the corner there. You can use that to find all your MLB Shop needs, playoff apparel. Last night, Seattle beat Detroit. So congratulations to the Mariners. And as we move on here, as we said, spreads of the week, dogs and treats, right? You give me some dogs, we'll get some treats. This way we can get both the favorites and the dogs going here. All right, so the first one we got here is Michigan is a +2.5 dog at USC. It's matchup storied programs in football history, college football history. Michigan looking to slow the game down. USC looking to provide explosive plays on offense. It's a great matchup, and it'll put one of these teams in position to finish the season at a strong point. What do you think, Jim?
I'm all over Michigan in this spot. I got Michigan money line. I'm a couple one. I got Michigan minus. I'll jump the line on this. I love Michigan in this spot. USC, they do have a really good offense. Jaden Malava is one of the best quarterbacks in the country, but this USC defense is just not doing anything to me. I'm not afraid of it. I think Justice Haynes is just going to run it down their throat. And Bryce Underwood's slowly coming into his own. I feel like they're slowly letting him off the leash, and this Michigan offense is coming alive. I'm all over the Wolverines in this spot. You good? I mean, we saw what happened when USC played a real Big Ten team in Illinois. Kind of got mollywopped.
Yeah. Yeah. I like USC to have an explosive offense here and output, and just there's going to be 2 or 3 plays where they're just going to go right down the field, and Michigan's not going to be able to keep up. Next matchup we got is another SEC matchup. South Carolina getting 8.5 at LSU. The Sellers is looking, to get his team going in the right direction. LSU coming off a bye at home in Tiger Stadium, looking to get the offense going as well as the defense. The Gamecocks aren't bad on defense either, and last year they had the game in hand and they let it slip away.
Yeah, I like South Carolina in this spot. I think 8.5 is too much. I think they keep it close. Sellers is slowly coming into his own. Nussmeier's playing hurt. And if you look at how he's like the power he's throwing on the ball, like he has no zip compared to what he had last year. They say it's an abdominal strain. I don't know what's going on, but they refuse to pull him for Buren, Michael Van Buren, the Mississippi State quarterback from last year. So they clearly don't think he's a better option. So I honestly, LSU's defense is good enough to slow down the South Carolina offense, but I think South Carolina just keeps it close within the spread.
Yeah, I like the Fighting Chickens here. I also like the over in this game. I think that there's going to be some offense that we just don't see coming for some reason. I just have that feeling. And the last dog we have here is Nebraska at Maryland. Maryland getting 6. Matt Rule looking to bring the Huskers into the game to stop that dual threat of Malik Washington.
Yeah, I can't quit this Terrapins team, man. I gave them to you last week against Washington. They were winning 14-0, and they just kind of fell apart in the second half, but they still kept it within the number. I love this Maryland team. Nebraska hasn't done anything to wow me. Dylan Raiola's cosplaying a character, and that Nebraska defense is kind of weak. I'm all over at Maryland in this spot. I think they have a chance to win, but if you want to play it safe, the points is I think it's definitely within a touchdown. I really like this Maryland team.
Yeah, I feel like Maryland is an easy play for this game. Nebraska has not been that impressive after a fast start, and Maryland just seems to be consistent. I mean, they're not, tremendously explosive on either side of the ball, but they're keeping games competitive for the most part. So now we got some treats that I like this week. Iowa State giving 2.5 to Colorado. Iowa State obviously taken down last week. Disappointing, not to say the least. But at the same time, Colorado's still looking to prove it here. What are you thinking, Jimmy?
I'm all over Iowa State in this spot. I kind of called Cincy last week, but listen. Iowa State still is a great team. Colorado doesn't know what they're doing in the quarterback spot. They keep switching out who they got. Coach Prime, legendary NFL player. He's all right as a coach. He hasn't really done much to prove to me that he's like in the elite upper echelon yet. But this Iowa State team, hard nosed football. Rocco Bag's coming in. I feel like he's gonna take some anger out on this Colorado team, and I feel like the Cyclones go crazy.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think the Cyclones offense is going to explode here on the scene and just take the wind right out of the sails up at Rocky Mountain High. Another one we got is BYU -2.5 at Arizona. The Cougars are looking to, kind of prove that they are still in relevant form here in the Big 12. What do you think, Jimmy?
These are two of the top defenses in the Big 12. BYU with a starting quarterback, Noah Fafita. Arizona's been playing decent football, nothing otherworldly, but he's been playing all right. My favorite play in this game is the under, just because it's two top defenses against mediocre offenses. But if I'm laying aside, I think I'm going with the Cougs on this one, just because I feel like the defensive, they're the better defense. That's just how it is, man. I love Fafita. You know how I am with these Hawaiian quarterbacks, man. But I just think BYU is just better.
Yeah, I think the Cougars are a better team as well. Arizona is on the fringe in the Big 12. And I feel like BYU's defense is going to be the linchpin in this game. Another game we got, the last treat, is the Fighting Irish -23.5 versus NC State. It is a sold-out stadium this week once again. It's ACC play, if you want to call it that, for Notre Dame. They remain independent but attached to the ACC. But Notre Dame has been pretty much a cover machine this year.
Yeah, I don't see it changing either. I like this NC State team, though they did beat us because it was a whack throw. All right, listen. Chandler Morris just made the wrong read. That's all it was. All right, I'm not too fussed about it. Minus 23.5. I think I'm rolling with the Irish on this one. Jeremiah Love's just. I said coming into the season, I think Jeremiah Love's the best running back in college football. I think he might be second, but I think he might be second now, but I still think he's still gonna run all over.
Oh, who's number one? Who's number one, Jimmy? Who's number one?
Ahmad Hardy, bro. Missouri's running back.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to know what the name was. I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
I agree. He's a really good runner. He has a low center of gravity. He doesn't have the wiggle that Jeremiah Love has, but he has the power for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So before we get to the big game of the week, just remember, we do have NFL Shop as one of our sponsors. You can use that QR code in the upper corner there to get all your NFL Shop needs, jerseys, hoodies. As we said, it's going to be hoodie season pretty soon here in the Northeast, if not already. But the game of the week, number 7, Indiana at number 3, Oregon. Oregon giving 7.5. Cignetti has, again, put together a magical season for the Hoosiers, and maybe this is the new norm for the Hoosiers. Maybe the Hoosiers are now relevant in the Big Ten. And he's looking to make another mark after making the college football playoffs last season. Oregon looking to push for a national title. I feel like the Hoosiers have no real pressure on them going into this game, as many people, experts, pundits, picking the Ducks to win by a landslide. I feel like it's going to be a tough place to play at Nike Land. but I think that Indiana keeps the game tight early on. Jim, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is a close game. Two top offenses in the league. I feel like this game is won in the trenches, to be honest, because we know the quarterback play on both sides is elite. They're the two front runners for Heisman. Um, but this game comes down to, is Kirk Cincinnati ready to take the step up? Because last year we showed, when he played real competition, he just rolled over. He wasn't about the competitive games. He was just beating up on the little schools, on the guys that didn't know what they were doing when they ran into a powerhouse. And now it seems like this is his opportunity to show the world is like, hey, Indiana's a player and they deserve to be on that upper tier in the Big Ten. I don't think that Indiana wins. I think it's close, but if I'm playing aside, I gotta go Oregon. Minus 7.5 is a little steep price. I think we might get bit by the hook because I think this game is going to be close. But I'm going to roll the dice with the Ducks. I do like the over in this game, though. Like I think this is going to be a lot of points. Both offenses are highly explosive. Oregon's win over Penn State doesn't look as good now, but I mean they did take their soul, so maybe that's what it was. And this Penn State team was good at one point until the soul was snatched. So. I'm gonna roll with the Ducks. I'm gonna be a pundit. I'm gonna roll with the pundits, but it could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if
Yeah,
Indiana won.
absolutely. And remember that UCLA, when they played Penn State, has absolutely nothing to lose. And the game is played in three phases, right? You got to win on defense, you got to win on offense, and you got to win the special teams. And James Franklin, quite frankly, I don't know how he's kept his job this long. But I digress. We're talking about the Ducks. We're talking about the Hoosiers. Let me tell you something right now, Jim. Dan Lanning has his team prepared every single time there's a big game. Every single time. And I don't think this is any different. I feel like that defense plays well and the offense plays fast. As you said, both teams have really, really top offense. But at the end of the day, Oregon is ready for this. They've been, chomping at the bit to just prove to everyone how dominant they can be. Forget all the other teams they've beaten already. They're ready to take on the Big Ten and really prove that they are the king and are not going anywhere anytime soon. They play defense, like I said, as up there with the best in the country, up there with Ohio State, and their offense is explosive. I like the over and the Ducks by 15.
Big win. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So our last segment, as Jimmy loves to hear, the games nobody wants to watch this week. All right. So we got Rice. That's right, Rice plus 10.5 at University of Texas San Antonio. Rice is playing some tough football. They're looking to start marching towards a bowl berth. I like Rice plus 9.5. Troy at Texas State. The Bobcats are extremely good on offense. I feel like they cover the 7.5. Me and Jimmy both like this game. UCF at Cincinnati. Cincinnati giving 10.5. Listen, UCF is on a 4-game winning streak. Cincinnati, UCF on a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah.
Cincinnati on a 4-game winning streak.
Sources
Jim, what are your thoughts on that one?
Hey, listen. We were on the UCF. I was on the UCF beat Kansas State thing, and they couldn't beat Kansas State. I still think poorly, low of Kansas State. But listen, Sorsby's balling. Put Sorsby as a long shot for the Heisman. I don't think it'll happen. But listen, Cincinnati is trying to make their mark, move up the ladder in the Big 12. I think this is a statement game, and I feel like UCF is getting ran over.
Yeah, another game I like that nobody's watching. Navy at Temple. Navy's giving Temple 9.5. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the 250th birthday of the Navy Marine Corps. There is no way in God's green earth that Navy isn't covering in this game with the 250th anniversary of the birth of our nation's Navy and Marine Corps. Salute to all those serving and have served in the branch. I just feel like there's no way Navy is going to be able to get stopped by Temple's defense. Blake Horvath, their leading rusher and leading passer, as we know, a wing T type offense, triple option. And the last game, I don't think anybody's going to be watching, is App State giving 2.5 to Georgia State. Jimmy, just to let you know and let the audience know, App State has never, I said never, lost to Georgia State. 11-0. I know I convinced Jimmy in the pregame before we started to put this game on the ticket.
Roll
Jimmy,
Nears,
any
baby.
final thoughts?
Appalachian boy. Listen, a game we did kind of skip out on a little bit. Georgia versus Auburn. That is a scary spot for Georgia going into Jordan area, but I think Georgia should win if they're a confident team. I think they're the better team. They are having offensive line struggles, but Jackson Arnold takes way too long to process the field. Lean the under in that game. Wahoo's on a bye week. Ole Miss is going to beat the piss out of Washington State, so we're going to be able to take them out next week. Washington State's going down. Virginia's going up. 2 games to prove ourselves to get an ACC championship. Hey, listen, let's go watch some football.
All right. You guys heard it here first. Jimmy said Virginia's going to be in the ACC championship. Enjoy this week's college football slate. We hope you enjoyed our show. Once again, thanks to our sponsors, MyBookie AG, MLB Shop, and NFL Shop. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
This non-casual podcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or reused without the authorized written consent of the Not Move Podcast Network. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.